Hi guys, welcome to week 4 of distance learning. I did not post a video originally because I thought it was a little more straightforward, but I figured I'd do one anyway just so you guys can have some direct instruction for me. So also we have some big announcements. So first of all, as far as going back to school goes, officially as of Friday, we are not going back to school this year. In fact, they actually extended the stay-at-home orders until May 31st, just this earlier today. So it is a huge bummer. First of all, I'm pretty sad about it because I really enjoyed you guys and I had a lot of fun with you. And I don't get to see you guys for banquet. I don't get to see you guys for Aloha Assembly, like signing yearbooks, like all of that fun stuff we're missing out on, which I know is even more of a bummer for you guys. So I do support the decision that was made, though. I do think it's important for us to continue to practice social distancing and to be safe, because if you guys got sick and you took it home to your family members or to your grandparents, like that would be the worst. Believe you me, I have a family member who tested positive and was in the hospital and is still in the hospital. So thankfully they're recovering, but it is not something that I want any of you guys to go through. So I support the stay-at-home orders. That said, it is a bummer. So if you guys want to talk about it, or if you want to share how you're feeling, or if you just want to hang out and chat with your friends, I'm hosting a WebEx on Friday at 1 p.m. And it's just like an hour for you guys to talk about things that are not related to the assignments. So it's different from it's different from office hours in that way. It's not about science. It's just about how you guys are doing, what you guys are thinking. And also it's a time for you guys to give me input on what you guys would like to see for the Aloha Assembly. Because we as teachers are trying to figure out what that's going to look like now. And if you guys want to have input to make it awesome and to make it be what you guys would like to see, then come and join us. Come and join me, Friday at 1 p.m. Okay? Also, we have Game Kit Friday at 11 a.m. Some of you guys requested it, and we're definitely planning on hosting a game every week that you guys can just join in. It is not mandatory, but it is fun just to see you guys compete with one another across the teams. Also, Invest Trial 3 and Week 4 activities. This week is actually Earth Week, so it's going to be really exciting. There are special programs going on. I posted on Instagram that Zac Efron is hosting the world's Earth Day programming, and then also Hawaii News Now has a climate change special about what's going on here in Hawaii at 8 p.m. So definitely check those out. So these are your activities for the week. Invest, Trial 3, same thing as normal, and then stratigraphy and quizzes, figuring out index fossils, and then a reflection. So here's Invest. I'm not going to go through it because it's the same as usual. And then here are 2 challenges for you guys to do for stratigraphy. This should be pretty straightforward because you guys learned about it last week. If you want the link to the Quizlet because you forgot what certain things are, you can go ahead and click here. And these are some real world examples. You can see that rocks in the real world do fold, they do get tilted, they do get shifted, all kinds of stuff. So law of original horizontality says that rocks are laid down horizontally, and then if they are not horizontal, then that means that they got shifted after they were created. So that's what's going on here. All of these are instances where the rocks got shifted after they were made. This right here is an intrusion. It's when lava actually comes up from the core of the earth. It eats away at all the layers that came before it, and it creates a new layer that goes vertically. So this is the law of cross-cutting relationships. It cut through all the other layers of rock, so it is younger than the layers of rock that were horizontal. Here's quizzes. This is what it looks like. So at the moment, I think there is about 62 player attempts. I think that's a total of about 40 to 50 of you guys on both teams that have played. So at the moment, we have Piper is number 1, and Megan is also number 1. Oh, technically just barely number 2. So they both got 100%, which is awesome. And then Miku on the other team is in 3rd place, and then Kaden is not that far behind. And you can play multiple times, but it's awesome to see that you guys are doing so well. So nice job, guys. Will too, shout out to you, and Mila. But try to beat Piper and Megan because they're the ones at the top. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Those of you that played quizzes with us last week, it's the same one. So you guys get a leg up because you guys decided to opt in. So have fun and join us for GimKit this week. And then this is the one that most people are having questions on. So you have columns of rock from around the world, 6 different locations, and your job is to match them up and to identify index fossils. So this is what it looks like originally, and you want to match the layers horizontally because that's how the rocks were formed, right? So here's limestone. That's this first one here, and you can see there's limestone here, 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 and here. So if we match up the layers of limestone from across the world because they were created at the same time, then we can see that this actually doesn't work that well. Although this limestone here matches up, these two do not match up. This is siltstone. This is chalk. You can tell based on the key. So it does not match up. So that indicates that this is not how it's supposed to be. So this also does not match up, and neither does this. But we can see that there's another layer of limestone down here. So if we take this and we move the column down, now we can see that, yes, the shale lines up here, the limestone lines up, the chalk lines up, the conglomerate rock, sandstone, and then chalk again. So this is how it should all fit together. It does not matter that this column has an extra 2 rock layers on top of it because maybe this area, wherever it is actually underneath the ocean. And so instead, there is water on top of it instead of 2 new layers of rock that got built. So what this tells us is that we can actually date things across the continents as long as they have the same pattern of rocks and as long as they have similar fossils. So the same patterns of rocks is useful for sure. That's how they identified the KT boundary. It was a layer all across the world, different parts of the world, and we were able to match it up because of what was inside it. We know that the KT boundary is made out of a lot of iridium, which is not commonly found on Earth, but it's commonly found in meteors. So that's how we figured out that that layer actually came from an asteroid that hit the Earth. And carry that iridium from outer space. So here we can see that these layers match up also. So that's a good indication that we can date things across this continent to this continent. So do the same thing, match up the rock layers for the other 4 continents, and then you want to figure out which one of these fossils, there's actually 4 of them, which of these fossils are actually index fossils. So as a reminder, index fossils are fossils that are found in a very short period of time. That creature was only alive for like a blip of time in the history of the Earth. So what that does is it helps us to be able to identify the things that came after it and the things that came before it all across the world. Because number one, they're creatures that lived all across the globe. So they have fossils everywhere. And then 2, they were only found in a very short period of time. So that means that we can match things up from Asia and from Europe and from Africa and from North America. If we all have this one layer with this fossil in it that only lived in a short period of time, then we can use that to match up the rest of the rock layers, just like we did with the KT boundary. So, for instance, we might think that this is an index fossil because it occurs both here and here, but unfortunately it occurs in 2 different time periods. So you have to rule it out because we cannot use that to accurately date things because it's found across too wide a span of time. On the other hand, this guy is found across multiple locations. You can actually see it's found here and here also. And it is only found in this one layer. We don't see it anywhere else in the geologic column. So this is an index fossil because we can use it and say, okay, if we know that this animal, which is a trilobite, if we know that this animal lived during this period of time, then anything that got stacked on top of it is younger than it. Anything that it happened below it is older than that. So we can use it to match up rock layers and also to date things. So that's what an index fossil is. So on this slide, you're going to be deleting all the ones that are not index fossils, and then here you're going to be answering some questions about index fossils. So we gave you a geologic eras notes to take a look at. So I have index fossils. If this is blank, it means that I don't have a drawing of it. So the index fossils that are in this exercise, I put into here so you can tell what time period they belonged to. And then I also put in examples of real world index fossils so you can see what they look like. So for instance, down here, you can see that there's a drawing of an index fossil and there's the real image of it. And so this drawing indicates that that is one of the things that you should have found when you were doing this exercise. And then lastly, it's a reflection. So just tell me how you're doing and how you're feeling. It's been a month of distance learning, and we would love to get your feedback on how we could improve. And also, I want to just check in with you guys and see what's up. So that's it for this week. If you have any questions, join me on office hours and join us for GimKit and join me for the open forum because I would love to see you guys and hear how you're doing. Okay, thanks. Bye.